One of the great joys and privileges of my father's life was to serve in Congress with such an extraordinary group of colleagues. And this is not very politically correct, Madam Speaker, but you know, my father really was kind of an old-fashioned patriarch. And he had that sort of benevolent spirit about him. And he really viewed, because he was perhaps a little more senior than many of his colleagues, he viewed them all as members of his family, which is one reason why he did genuinely love his Republican colleagues as much as his Democratic colleagues. And we have been very moved by the way that affection was returned. We are blessed today to have a number of my father's colleagues here with us, and I would like to turn first, if I may, to Senator Voinovich, who has been really valiant to an extraordinary degree in leading the fight against anti-Semitism. And we would be honored if you would come up and say a few words. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Katrina. I'm so happy to be here today and with the members of the Lantos family, and I think you're doing such a wonderful job of growing the legacy of Tom, husband, father, and grandfather. And I know that if you truly love someone, you like to see their legacy continue, especially when that person touched the lives of so many people, and that's what this is all about. You decided we got to do something and make sure that Dad, this legacy continues to grow. Katrina, I enjoy, where is she? Over here, yeah. Enjoy working with your mother, and last week we were at the Russell Building and the Karl Lutz exhibit that was sponsored by you and also by the Hungarian group. And I'm also glad to be joined by so many colleagues that are here today. We've heard from our speaker, and there are going to be other speakers here today talking about Tom and this wonderful archival endeavor. I understand that Sally Meridor is going to be here, our ambassador from Israel, and we have Deputy Assistant Secretary Kay Mayfield. Kay, thank you. Kay is the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, and I'm hoping that the Senate can confirm somebody very quickly to take the job that you're holding down. And I know that Mrs. Lantos, you're also interested in making sure that the envoy that we have over at the State Department to monitor and combat anti-Semitism is appointed. One of the things that people are not aware of is that Tom sponsored in the House and I sponsored in the Senate the Global Anti-Semitism Bill, which really recognized the fact that the State Department needed to provide some attention to the issue of anti-Semitism. And of course, Tom worked very, very hard. To see Steny Hoyer here, worked with the OSCE on a long battle that we made to bring anti-Semitism to the attention of the OSCE and also the Office of Democratic Institution and Human Rights. And I think all of us know that today the challenge is as great as it's ever been. And I think that Mr. Shapiro, you're here representing the Holocaust Museum, and you know, one of the things I mentioned yesterday when I spoke to the Anti-Defamation League was the fact that think of the museums that people go to, and I don't know if you've ever talked to young people that have visited the Holocaust Museum and the way it's changed their outlook on life and what was important. And I think that what you're doing here today is another example of a thing that will make an impact on individuals. And I think the fact that you're also devoting this not only to what Tom's legacy is in his archives, but also recognizing what's happened in the Muslim community in terms of anti-Semitism. And I'm not going to go into all of the stuff that's going on, but the truth of the matter is that unless we recognize what is happening in that community around the world, we are having our heads in the sand. I mean, we talk about a two-state solution today in Israel, but how in the world can you have a two-state solution when the people that you're dealing with teach their children from the time that they're able to know anything to hate Jews? And the other thing that I think is good about this, that we have a representative here from Muslim community, is that you're also documenting where Muslims have stood up and have been counted. And I want all of you to know, and I've read several books on this, it's not easy for people to stand up and do what's right to do. I know one of the most recent examples is in Mumbai, where we had the killing of those people, and it was involved in anti-Semitism. But the Muslim community said that we will not bury these individuals in our cemetery because they have not lived up to the high ideals of the Quran. And so we need to do that more often, I think, and recognize that we all have to work together. We do have a symbiotic relationship with each other. Tom understood that. You're right. He did work with Republicans and Democrats to make a difference. And we have to understand that the issue of anti-Semitism is something, as I think it's not I think how Abe says, it's not a matter of history, but it's a current event. And quite frankly, with what's happening in the world and the economic situation, we have a greater challenge. So I want to thank you, Annette, and the family for the work that you've done and the fact that you've partnered up with another organization that's going to continue to keep Tom's cause alive at a time when it's so needed. Thank you.